for it. They're going for it.
This is a yikes moment right here. Talk about going to win a football game. This is it.
Kalon Black is in the backfield. Mendoza ready to take the snap. He takes it. He looks. He throws the football. And
he runs it.
No, he runs it. And he ties for the end zone. Does he get it in? Touchdown! Fernando Mendoza runs the football and scores. 12-yard play. Fernando Mendoza. Tremendous fake, and then he runs it in. Here's the snap, and this time they're just going to go down to the ground, and that will do it. And the rags to riches story for Indiana football comes to conclusion, and they are the national champions of 2026. What a football team! What a football team!
The Indiana Hoosiers are national champions. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Central Indiana sports fans, and welcome to the inaugural edition of Greg and his friends talk sports. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, and I think I've finally found the right format for my daily show. Welcome to it. What I will do every day, I'm going to talk about what's going on in Central Indiana and around the sports world. 10 to 20 minutes about what's important to Central Indiana sports fans. Whether it's IU, Purdue, the Pacers, Colts, Fever, IndyCar, Butler, Notre Dame, national sports or international sports, my friends and I are going to be talking about it. And a lot of days after the 10 to 20 minute review, I will have a news breaker or a newsmaker on at the end of the podcast as often as I possibly can. We will no longer be doing our previews and reaction podcasts. We'll do that on this podcast, except for big events. Of course, we'll preview those and react to them. The next one will be on Monday, the 26th, when we preview the IU Purdue basketball game, and then react to that on Tuesday night, the 27th. We will continue to have our reports every single day. Pacers on Monday, IU on Tuesday, Purdue Wednesdays, IndyCar Thursdays, Colts reports on Fridays, and the Fever reports on Sundays. We'll also have college football, college basketball, NBA, NFL, MLB, a fight report, World Cup, and Olympics reports, and others throughout the year. Make sure you come back every day, sometime between 12:01 a.m. and 6 p.m., so wide window. We're talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about every single day. Can't think of a better time or circumstance to start this new venture. The headline of the first episode of Greg and his friends talk sports goes like this. The Indiana Hoosiers are the 2025-26 college football national champions. Curt Cignetti, Fernando Mendoza, and the number one ranked Indiana Hoosiers passed its toughest test of the season to date with a 27-21 victory over the Miami Hurricanes Monday night in the national championship game in Miami. The Hoosiers led the entire game. In fact, they just led the entire postseason. In fact, it was one of the most dominating teams in the history of the sport, outscoring Alabama, Oregon, and Miami 123-46 in 3 postseason games. They're the first 16-0 team in college football history. Their last 4 wins were over Ohio State, Alabama, Oregon, and Miami. If they're not the greatest college football team of all time, and that is something that we discussed on Monday night's reaction to the national championship game, then this is certainly the greatest run in the history of college football. Let's hear from our guys Grant Shouse and Mike Hutsell, a couple of lifetime IU football fans, and their thoughts on the Hoosiers national championship. And now we welcome in the first guest ever to Greg and his friends talk sports. It's Grant Shouse and Mike Hutsell, our IU guys. Mike in particular has been waiting more than 40 years for this, and his Hoosiers are national champions. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us. Just a few
Man.
days short of my 47th birthday, the Hoosiers finally get it done.
You've been waiting this whole time. And the funny thing is, I said the other day that if you were in a time machine, it still wouldn't make sense to you.
No.
Because it just happened. It wasn't like it was a slow build. If you went into a coma in 1985, you would assume that over 40 years IU football got good. Nope. Craziest story in the history of sports.
How about this, Greg? If you'd gone into a coma in 2023 and you woke up 2 years later, you're not going to believe that Indiana is good at football. You're just going to laugh and be like, hey,
That's right.
You guys are just effing with me. I just woke up from this coma. There's no way Indiana's the national champion in college football. Stop effing with me. Life has done that enough. I've been in a coma for 2+ years. Tom Allen's probably still the coach. They probably still all love each other. Whatever. Shut up. There's no way.
Didn't they just lose to Purdue in the Old Oaken Bucket? What are you talking about?
Right. 2023. Didn't they just go to four overtimes with Akron and have to run a crazy 2-point conversion play just to get out of there with a W?
Guys, this run went Ohio State, Alabama, Oregon, Miami. Unreal. The greatest run in the history of college football.
You had to take down 4 that you could put on the Mount Rushmore for blue bloods in the sport. And I don't know about you, but I really do consider that Ohio State game a playoff game. And the fact that they were able to come out and do what they did in that game and then carry it over into these 3 games is just incredible.
That Fernando Mendoza play is going to be one that goes down forever, isn't it?
There's no question about it. I think that I think, like Mike said in our reaction podcast, if you haven't listened to that, it's just that, like, we're going to be telling our grandkids about that, you know? They're going to play that in every, like, hype video before every game at Memorial Stadium for the rest of our lives.
Mike, I know you have a child, so this can't be the best night of your life, but where's it rank?
I mean, it's certainly up there. This whole, like, run has produced so many moments that are going to rank up there. And we didn't really talk about this in the reaction pod, but one thing that I'm never going to forget as a sports fan, as a parent, as a human, is being at Mercedes-Benz, you know, whatever it was, 9 days ago, and that pick six, and just hearing my son's reaction to it, because my son is 14. He's a 14-year-old. He doesn't react to anything. If you get any more than a grunt and a fart out of him, you've had a great conversation. But just being there, experiencing that moment, and just hearing and seeing his face as a parent, you can't ask for anything better than that. And to know that deep down, that's probably something that he's going to remember for the rest of his life. And we have Indiana football to thank for that, because without this team and without what it's accomplished, we don't have that moment. And that is something that I'm always going to remember about this team and about this run. And then just the conversation I was able to have with him via text during the game tonight, because he's got school in the morning, so he wasn't at my house. And I got to give the kid credit. He's got a great sense of humor. He picked up on some things from his dad over the years, because he said, put the camera on Michael Irvin's coked out, you know what, when the game was over. So I was like, you are certainly Mike Hutsell's child.
That is correct. Guys, thanks so much for spending this time, instead of celebrating, talking some Hoosiers with us. And I'm now going to instruct both of you to go party.
My boss gave me a 3-hour delay tomorrow. How about that?
You didn't get the day off?
I didn't take the day off because I'm a good employee.
Hell yeah.
Well, have fun at work. I'm sure everybody, all the Hoosier fans today, are going to be dragging at work, but it's worth it.
What a night.
What a night.
Make sure you go listen to Grant's and Mike's complete reaction from Monday night, which we did immediately after the game. It was fantastic. Please go check that out on the Central Indiana Sports Report Network. Also, the IU report is on Thursday this week rather than its normal day of Tuesday. Wanted to give the guys some time to collect their thoughts and share their feelings with us on Thursday. We also expect to have a couple of other IU fans and grads with us to share their feelings and give us a report from Miami. And again, we will talk IU football and, of course, IU basketball every day on Greg and his Friends Talk Sports. Couple quick notes from the national championship game. IU didn't lose a fumble in its final 15 games of the season. Only lost one all year, the most consecutive games ever for a team without losing a fumble. Amazing. IU is now the most recent unbeaten team in both college basketball and college football. And IU backup quarterback Alberto Mendoza has announced he is entering the transfer portal. Ciao, Roberto. Most people are looking at this Indiana Pacers season as a wasted one. I see the rest of the season as a win-win. You play well, particularly the guys who are going to be contributing to next year's team, Pascal Siakam, Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, TJ McConnell, Johnny Furphy. If those guys play well and they still lose, that's probably the best case scenario. And that's exactly what happened on Monday night in Philadelphia. While the Hoosiers were winning a national championship, the Pacers were beating the 76ers for the first 3.5 quarters. Led by 25 points from Andrew Nembhard and 24 from Pascal Siakam, the Pacers led 55-50 at the half in Philadelphia and still had an 88-86 lead with 9:19 to go after a Pascal Siakam three. In the end, however, the Sixers finished with a 113-104 victory behind 30 points from Joel Embiid and just an incredible performance by Tyrese Maxey. 29 points, 8 assists, and 8 steals. The Pacers had 22 turnovers in the loss. So I'm going to do something on the podcast that I do every single day. The Pacers now have the second worst record in the NBA, a half game ahead of the New Orleans Pelicans. They're a game behind the Wizards, 2.5 games behind the Kings, and 3.5 games behind the Nets as the bottom 5 teams in the NBA. And finishing in the bottom 4 guarantees you a top 5 draft pick and gives you one of the best 4 odds of getting the number 1 pick. So I'm going to go to Tankathon as I do every day and see what it says will be the result of the Pacers draft. And here it is. According to Tankathon right now, the Pacers would have the second pick most likely. That would be Cameron Boozer of Duke, and that would be awesome. But now I'm going to simulate the lottery and see where the Pacers wind up. The number 1 pick overall today says that the Pacers will take Darren Peterson out of Kansas. I've been watching a lot of college basketball this season with the Pacers thinking, and I got to tell you, any of the top 4 picks I think will just be an amazing addition to the Pacers. Darren Peterson of Kansas, Cameron Boozer of Duke, AJ DeBonsa of BYU, or Caleb Wilson of North Carolina. Go check out those guys. They are all awesome. It's a really good year to have a guaranteed top 5 pick. The Pacers are at 26-16 Boston on Wednesday, and they're at Oklahoma City for a championship rematch on Friday. To some national headlines, Jimmy Butler tore his ACL in the Warriors' 135-112 loss to the Miami Heat on Monday in San Francisco. Butler is done for the season, so are the Warriors. Kansas head coach Bill Self was hospitalized Monday and will not coach Tuesday when the Jayhawks go to Colorado to face the Buffaloes. He entered the hospital with chest tightness, but reports on Tuesday that he feels much better. And the Titans have hired Robert Saleh as their new head coach. Looking ahead to Tuesday, both number 4 Purdue and Indiana are in Big Ten action. The Boilermakers are 17-1 overall, 7-0 in the Big Ten, and are a 6.5-point favorite to improve to 8-0 in the conference. UCLA is 12-6 overall, 4-3 in the Big Ten. Purdue and Nebraska remain the only Big Ten unbeatens. We will hear from Jake Dunn on Wednesday's show, and the Purdue Report is every Wednesday. Indiana's opponent, Michigan, is 16-1 and 6-1 in the Big Ten. The 12-6 Hoosiers look to end a 3-game losing streak in Ann Arbor. Also Tuesday, Butler, coming off a big 77-66 road win at number 5 Seton Hall on Saturday that ended a 4-game losing streak, host 11-7 DePaul on Tuesday. 5-13 Ball State is at 5-13 Central Michigan. Both teams are 1-5 in the MAC. 5-14 Evansville goes to 9-10 UIC in Chicago. The Aces are 1-7 in the Missouri Valley. UIC is not much better. No women's college basketball Tuesday. Purdue, Ball State, Butler, and Purdue Fort Wayne all play on Wednesday. And in high schools on Tuesday, a handful of boys games. Number 3 Lawrence North is at number 5 Plainfield in the big one in Central Indiana. Both teams are 14-1. Future Boilermaker Luke Ertl and the Mount Vernon Marauders are at Avon. The number 4 Marauders are 12-2. 8-3 Cass is at 8-3 Northwestern. 4-6 Anderson Prep host 4-5 Union. 3-6 Burris is at 8-3 Liberty Christian. 11-3 Shelbyville visits 11-2 Whiteland. 8-2 Sheridan hosts 3-7 Southmont, and 5-6 Western Boone visits 6-6 Faith Christian. And finally, on the girls' side, Tuesday, 17-2 Oak Hill hosts 11-9 Marion in a big win in Grant County. 17-3 and 4th-ranked LaPel goes to Pendleton to face the 16-3 and 9th-ranked Arabians in a huge win in Madison County. And 8-9 Carmel goes to 10-8 Fishers in a Hamilton County showdown. Also in Hamilton County, 14-4 Heights hosts 6-12 Huntington North. 6-13 Tipton goes to Kokomo to face the 9-10 Wildcats. 14-3 Daleville goes to 14-5 Delta. 12-7 New Powell is at 17-3 Roncalli in a good one. Unbeaten and 3rd-ranked Center Grove goes to Cathedral to face the 15-4 and 7th-ranked Irish. 14-3 and 6th-ranked Lawrence Central goes to 8-10 North Central. And 15-3 Mechanic-Waugh goes to 11-5 Southwood in a big Three Rivers contest. Thanks so much for listening. Always appreciate it. Please do us a huge favor. Share this podcast with a sports fan in your life. Help us spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about every single day. Please join us for a Purdue report and a fight report on Wednesday. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of IDG Media, and I love Susie.